Good morning, Gossip Gals. How is everybody today? I'm here with one of my coaches, Miranda Christopher, and we're doing the Gossip Gals talk show. So Miranda is a Gossip Gal VIP, and we're going to find a little bit more about her today on this interview. So we thought we'd have it as a coffee and chat style interview. So we can kind of get to know a little bit more, maybe how you got into your business and what you do, and all sorts as well. So I like things chatty and chilled out and things. So Miranda, do you want to tell everybody about what you do, who you are?
Okay. In a nutshell, I'm a transformation leader. I'm a business growth mentor and a coach, and I'm trained in quite a number of different coaching disciplines. I spent 25 plus years in corporate land as a transformation leader and led very big change until I hit burnout in 2014.
Gosh. So what happened with the burnout? I know it was quite dramatic.
I basically had been running in doing mode for most of my life. I was a mum of two kids, house to run, and I travelled around the country working. I'd basically become a human doing and not a human being, and I'd had a lot of challenging situations in my life around that time, including divorce. I'd moved house in 4 times in 18 months. My dad had become terminally ill and died, and it just felt like life was just one big challenge after another. And I got so much inflammation in my body that it damaged nerves in my head, and I literally woke up one morning and I struggled to talk, I struggled to walk, I'd lost sensation in my face, and it was just life-changing and business changing. I ended up having to sort of close my business down because I was the business. So
yes. So you were acting as a consultant, going into lots of different organizations and helping them. And the burnout, it was a big burnout.
The signs have been there for a long time, but I just chosen to ignore them. So I was getting problems like I was getting a lot of sore throats or chest infections, bad headaches. I had trouble with sciatica the year before, which I'd never had problems with before. So the signs were there. I was just kind of doing what we all do.
Carrying on, just keep on going. Yeah. And I think a lot of women think that's just what we do. We just carry on, like we don't get man flu, and we just keep going. So then what happened after you hit burnout and you closed your company? What happened then?
It took I went into recovery mode. I actually became a hermit and I didn't go out for 4 months. So and then I went through this very strange phase of eating only white food. So my personality had gone from being very extrovert, very outgoing, very bubbly, very lively, to being very so insular, didn't want to deal with people, just kind of go away world.
Yeah.
And after about a year, I kind of thought, this isn't good. I need to get out and I need to start to mix. But I had very limited energy to do things. So I might go on a trip out. I might go to the supermarket, and it really just wiped me out for hours and hours. So my first outing was to a women's group, which was personal development. And it happened to turn out that a lot of them were entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs. So, and it's not a world I'd really mixed in, because the way I found my business in corporate was very different to what they did. Because I had sales partner, and ultimately my reputation was so strong that the companies approached me rather than the other way around. So I was hearing this very different world for me. But I
Yeah.
started to notice things about them. And I'm one of those coaching and sort of qualifications things is I'm a language and behaviour profiler. So what I was noticing was that what they were saying wasn't congruent with sort of the body language. And it got me really interested because I've been through this pity party of one, you know, had failed dramatically, wiped me out overnight. And I just once I pick myself up to that, I really want to know why do businesses fail? Why do, when you look at the failure rates, you know, it's like this, the quote's sort of over 90%. And in particular, I wanted to know, why did women struggle when they started their own business? Because I've been self-employed, working for myself in my own business since I was 25. And I'd actually had a number of different businesses in that time. 3 were consultancy businesses and 1 was a training business. And the training business was really challenging because that was more like a traditional business building, kind of doing the sales, the marketing and all that kind of, you know, stuff. So it was just asking that question and sitting with the question. And then I started to meet some of the women for coffee and I just explored a little bit. And I thought, oh, this is really interesting. When you dig down, the reasons that I cited for failure are not really the reasons. So it led me to turn the question into, what do women need to succeed? And I started to run.
Yeah, that's a better question for.
Yeah, well, it's a better statement. It's a statement, yeah, isn't it, rather than a question. Yeah. So rather than, I gathered all this data, done all this research, went into, there's a big global European database on entrepreneurship, and you've got your ONS, the Office of National Statistics, and you've got former, and I went through all of that because, as I said, I had a lot of time on my hands. And I just started to put together some sort of a different type of program for based on what I was finding. So it was a long journey, and last year I was ready to go in April to roll out events to share what had become the Minerva Manifesto for women who want to, you know, do business, make money and enjoy life. And we were going to start in April. We were going to go around the UK before we went out into the world. And we know how that turned out.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Yeah, so that was a bit of a, like, annoyance really for you. Now, I bought your book, which I don't have around me, but I've also got the workbook as well. So yeah, you've got the little book, which I found really interesting and really resonated with me. And then the workbook. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm finding this really good to work through. And now you've created a Thrive and Grow.
Yeah.
Is it a course or a program?
So it's almost like if you think about it, I talk about in the book. When we come to start our own businesses, it's like we're a caterpillar going to a cocoon, and we shed our bodies and we come out as a butterfly at the other end. And if you think about Thrive and Grow, it's almost like that cocoon or sort of an incubator community where we go into, and what I do is I help women to put in place the right structure for themselves, but not just the external structure, but the internal structure. It's the internal structure that actually is critical for kind of achieving what we desire.
Yeah, because if you've not got that in place, then the how-to isn't going to actually land, and you're not going to be able to apply it.
No. So I've taken the Minerva Manifesto, and I'm in the process. We're in beta at the moment, and obviously you're in there with me, Emma, and we're going through and I'm building out the Minerva Manifesto in the content part of the offering. And I'm also starting next week an 8-week transformation program based around something called the magnetic mind method. And that is about doing the inner work. And it's about retraining our bodies to accept those things we desire, because we're inherently, our identity is set for what we have now and not what we desire. So we can go on quite a lot about it, but it's just about doing an internal shift. And it's not about changing your thought patterns. It's about changing the emotions in your body and actually training your body to be that person. So I call it in the Minerva Manifesto, the being to becoming, and you are becoming that butterfly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they say, like, act like the position that you want, not the position you have.
Yeah.
But it's more energetically aligned to that to actually get you there rather than just acting.
Yeah, it is. It's actually going to the place where there's actually no difference emotionally between where we are now and our current situation, no matter what's going on in the world, where we are now and where we want to be.
Yeah, I like it. I've joined in a couple of those sessions and it's been really good.
Yeah,
it's obviously I'm in the first part of this journey, so I don't know how it's like unfolding, but I'm trusting the process, and it's just nice to kind of be in that position that you put you in when you're going through that recoding. So it's brilliant. I love working through this booklet as well. I think the coaching sessions really helped me get to work through it too, and the sprint challenge as well.
Yeah, we're doing so while we're in beta, we're doing something called the 12 weeks.
Yeah, I do like this. It's handy.
Yeah. So and it's optional. You don't have to join in, but because we're in beta, it's just something to do while we're building up the rest of the sort of the offering. And it's just about, that's the other part of the offering, is the accountability and support. So when we create that world we desire, what we do in the magnetic alignment approach is that we bring it back in steps to where we are now. So where we want to be in a year's time, where we want to be in 3 months' time, in a week's time, in a day's time. Okay, yeah. So that's what that's about. And it's about, we go forward, we come back, and then we move forward with it. So
brilliant. Well, I'm enjoying it, and I know a few people on it as well. And I do like that it's kind of stress-free, it's not pressured, and I do like that you like to bring some fun into things as well. I know we're having a wind down Friday this week.
We are. So whilst we're still in beta, we're going to make that something called a talking circle. And talking circles, back in 2004, I spent some time with some Native Americans in a field in Oxfordshire, surrounded by alpacas. And I have had an interesting life. So, and they introduced me to this concept of a talking circle, which I then took forward into my corporate transformation work when I was working with leaders and managers, and it's about having the space to say the things that are unsaid, the things that we want to bring without judgment. So we have the opportunity to speak, to say what's on our mind, and without interruption, without judgment. And so that's what we're doing. But
yeah, I quite like that, because there's not many spaces that you can do that, is there?
No, and it's a really powerful, because when I remember first introduced it with a group of managers, you could see they're all going to go, I want to talk. And it was like,
yeah, because it's the judgment, and then it's like, what consequences is that going to be? Oh, yes, so that'll be interesting.
We've also got Sarah Harris, who's in Thrive and Grow, and I think she's in the Gossip Gals as well, yeah?
The VIP, yeah.
She's going to do a little bit on style and a free fall. So it's about getting together, it's about having fun. But for beta, we're going through the talking circle. I may bring the talking circle in as a different set of offerings within Thrive and Grow, because I've got another process that I've got, which is I'm having the workbook developed by a professional designers and artists at the moment, which is the inner goddess activation, and that will be coming out later in the year. But that's about working with our energy, understanding our energies during the day, and kind of working through the cycles of life. So it works on a monthly cycle, and it works through week. Very, very. You'll see the similarity with the sprint and the inner goddess activation. One's masculine and one's it's a mix. We go through the different stages of our energy through the day. So, and it's about finding out who you are.
And it's funny how you mentioned like through the day, because it changes throughout the day. You can flow into different energies, can't you?
You do, and but what I found was when I hit burnout, I was waking up and going straight into masculine energy, what I call my Diana, the huntress, straight into masculine energy throughout the day until I fell at the evening. And I didn't allow myself to kind of go through different states. So when you keep doing that, you keep waking up doing, which I'm guessing a lot of women are doing at the moment because of lockdown and the kids, and they're just super busy, and a lot of stuff going on. They're not getting that space. So I used to use my space was sitting in the car driving somewhere back in those days.
Yeah.
And that was my thinking space.
I really did like that as well. When we were in lockdown, I had a lot of intuitive moments when I was just on my own driving between places.
Yeah.
And I used to kind of get out of the car, and like I'm quite spiritual. I always used to see a sign, and I knew what was going on in my head in the car. Right, that's the direction, and that's how I grew my business.
That's your way. So that's going. That is that and understanding that. So that used to be my breathing space, and when I when I didn't honor that, so sometimes. Because I was working in London, I was on Canary Wharf, I was working with some big financial organisations. I would literally just get up, I would be living somewhere nearby during the week, and I get up and I go straight into work, and I'd be into work. I'd be working from sort of 7 in the morning to 7 in the evening, except on a Friday when I left at 1 o'clock. But I didn't give myself that time, and that time is really essential.
Brilliant. So, when did you join Gossip Gals? I think you joined the Lancashire Gossip Gals first.
Yeah, I think I joined the group first, the original group, and then I was going to come along last February, and something came up, and I had to deal with that. And then I'd planned in coming on, and then lockdown.
Yeah. So then you've started coming to the networking meetings since they've been online.
Yeah. So I have, and actually yours are really the only networking meetings that I am able to deal with, because when we're in on the online space, and we're always switched on, because we're always looking at the the kind of things. And what I realized in networking, whenever you go to the more traditional style networking and you do your sort of 1-2 minute pitch, and everybody stands up and does that bit, I used to switch off, and I'd be looking out the window, looking at the trees, or I'd be thinking about what we're having for tea, and that's natural. That's a natural way of being, and that's no disrespect to the people speaking, because most of them anyway. What I found and so when we went online, that didn't work for me, just being switched on all the time. But with yours, because it's more conversational and it's more, you see the same people, but it's kind of different what people say every time, and you kind of find out a little bit more about them, because it's not a pitching, it's human conversation. So yours has been the only one that I've actually stayed with for this period.
Oh, that's brilliant to hear, and that's just what I like about it. When we were offline and we went to cafes, it was like conversational. It would flow really nicely, and I didn't have anybody standing up and doing a 1 minute pitch. It was just 5 minutes and move on. Respect each other, but you can ask questions, so it nicely flows. And that's what I wanted to create online as well, so that everybody felt heard. It was interesting. It gives you the boost. it's not just somebody talking about the business, it's somebody opening up and telling you about the story and things, which is interesting. It's more interested in, this is what I do. And say, for example, an accountant that is an interesting person, but in 1 minute you can't get that across because you're talking about your business. So yeah.
But if you think about Anna, and Anna she's a marketer, isn't she?
Yeah.
She also makes muffins. Now, I wouldn't have had delicious chocolate and raspberry muffins.
She's watching now, yeah.
We wouldn't have been able to have that, like the conversation, would we? So that's
her muffins are really good as well.
They're amazing, aren't they? Literally, we arrived and
did you get the big ones or the small ones? Which ones did you get? Big ones or small ones?
They were about that big. Yeah, it's quite, six in the thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they were. Oh, they were. Oh my gosh, I saw the giant one actually. I'm thinking, that's amazing.
And then you've joined the Gossip Gals VIP. Are you enjoying being in there?
I am. So you do a lot more of the practical stuff and how to get yourself onto Clubhouse, for example. So a lot of older women are we're kind of tech phobes. I wouldn't say I'm a tech phobe, just haven't had the time to look at it and work out how I want it to figure.
That's what I find I work with quite a lot of, well, in your words, older women that, I want to teach them how to and break it down and help them explore and being able to do more. So that's who I like to work with a lot. I get a lot of rewards from that. So you're enjoying that?
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Good. Brilliant. So, thank you so much, Miranda. So are you still taking people on for the Thrive and Grow?
I am literally opening the doors. So as I say, I'm doing this 8-week program. Now, this program is the only time I'll be doing it live inside Thrive and Grow. It will be a recording format because it's actually my signature piece in my own coaching arena. And when I launch that later in the year, it will be lots of money. It will, because it is transformational. And once you go through this process, you'll be out of the seeking mode, as the seeker syndrome, as I call it, and you'll have the tools to be able to keep recreating your desires moving forward. So I am opening it up for women who want to come and join me, and I'm not doing it at that price for Thrive and Grow, because I'm doing it at a very
good price. I was like, putting that up.
Very fair price, and you can come in for 6 months. At this point in time, you will get the workbook and not the online program, because I'm still recording that. I did a classic yesterday, Emma. You'd love this. So the first time I did it, forgot to press the record button. Second time I did it, forgot to plug the microphone in.
Oh gosh.
So so I'm just going through the process of taking that from the workbook into an online where you can work through bit by bit. But I'm sitting this magnetic mind piece underneath.
I like that idea. I like that you do that.
Sit well together.
Because when I'm doing this, I come to the coaching and kind of do it with you. But if I had video, I'd probably follow along, because that's just the way my brain works. So that's a great idea.
Yeah, so you can get it in. I'm putting it into video, into audio. There'll be the workbook, which after April you can buy separately if you want that. But all the bits from the workbook, all the activities will be sort of downloadable PDFs that you can work with. Plus, you've got this transformation piece which runs underneath, which is this inner work stuff. And I say they can, if they're interested, want to come on board. I'm opening the doors at the really honestly, it's less than it's about 4% of the price, and you get all those extras. You get the live, support sessions. in April, we go up to the new price, and it won't be the full price because that'll be September when we do the full launch in September. But it's an opportunity to get in, and
yeah, it is a good opportunity to get in, definitely. Okay, so brilliant. So if anybody's got any questions for Miranda, just pop them in the comments, and Miranda can get back to you at any time as well. And yeah, it's always lovely talking to you. Like, your journey has just been phenomenal, and how you've turned that around, and now you're helping lots of other women with their business. I think it's fantastic. So thank you for being our Gossip Gals talk show. And obviously, Miranda mentioned the networking meetings. We do have a networking meeting on Thursday evening. And yeah, I think we've still got a few places left if you want to join us, and that nice conversation having networking session that we all love with Gossip Gals. Okay. Brilliant. Thanks, Miranda.
see you on Thursday.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.